Next up, we're going to go to Northern Australia, Northern Territories, to hear from TNG and the Managing Director, Paul Burton. Paul.
Thanks very much, Leo. Good afternoon, everyone. This was a snapshot really on what we're doing with our major project in the Northern Territory. We're pushing ahead with development, having completed a feasibility study in 2015, updated last year, giving us extremely strong and robust economics. So I'll run you through our business model. TNG, we have a major project, Mount Peak. We have a process, a technology that we developed, and also a 20% free carried interest in a nickel cobalt mine called the Cores Extended in the Western Australia. Snapshot of the corporate overview, enough to say that we have a solid bank balance at this stage for all our work, and a market cap of circa about 140 million. The project itself is located in the Northern Territory. It's 230 kilometres north of Alice Springs, very close to what we call the infrastructure corridor, which runs up the middle of the Northern Territory. It's a road, rail and gas corridor. Gives the project some very good economics, being located so close to existing infrastructure. The resource itself is very flat-lying. It's a tabular ore body. It's shallow, just occurs 15 or so meters beneath sand cover. Opens itself up to open cut mining, and a very cheap mining method. What we plan to do is on the mine site itself is crush, grind and pass the material through a magnetic separator to extract the magnetite. Contained within the magnetite is the vanadium, the titanium and the iron, and the process that we have developed, which we call TIVAN, is a process where we can commercially extract each of those three elements in economic recoveries and also very high purities. Here's the key metrics from our feasibility study. We have a very, very strong IRR and just under 5 billion NPV. We get such a strong, robust project because we have three commercial products. We have a leading partner with us. There's a metallurgical group called the SMS Group out of Germany. They are a 3 billion euro turnover. They're engaged in metallurgical plant construction and design globally. They're a very, very big brother for TNG, and one that's been instrumental in actually assisting us in developing our TIVAN process. We've been engaged with them now for some 6 years, so this process has undergone a number of tests, and we have a very, very strong and robust project as a result. The SMS Group will do the final design for the process plant, but also they will provide us with a process guarantee and a product guarantee, which is very important. There's the TIVAN process as a snapshot. We'll take our titanomagnetite ore, which is traditionally processed through a pyrometallurgical process, where the titanium and the iron is not recovered and is left on the slag heap. We now take maximum value out of these types of resources. We have offtakes in place for binding life of mine for the 60% of our vanadium product with a Korean group. This Korean group, Woojin, they supply 100% of the ferrovanadium requirements to Hyundai Steel. Hyundai Steel are a very important partner for them. For the titanium, we are actually looking at producing titanium pigment now, and are engaging with some European distributors, global distributors, for the titanium pigment, 100% offtake. So the understanding that we have with Wogan as a trading group is only on the titanium dioxide as a feed. In addition to we have an iron oxide that comes out. It's a very high purity iron oxide, 99.9% pure, grade 69.2% Fe. We've got a binding term sheet in place with the Gunvor Group out of Singapore here, where they deal with bulk commodities. The markets that we intend to enter are mainly the paint and coatings market with our titanium pigment. In addition, the vanadium, most of it goes into the steel industry still, and we're not seeing that expected to change. However, the emergence of the vanadium redox batteries, an example of which you can see here, built by the Sumitomo Group, is an exciting and at this stage undefined growth area for vanadium. If the market really does take off for the vanadium redox batteries, there is not enough vanadium in current production to supply that demand. And our calculations are that you'd need to bring into production a resource the size of Mount Peak every year to satisfy the demand in the vanadium redox batteries to supply the electrolyte required. The titanium pigment area is a growing area. Basically, it's linked to population growth, and our target mainly is in the Asian sector. I mentioned this, that the forecast for all our commodities is very strong. With respect to vanadium redox batteries, we've actually produced our own electrolytes. We've proved that we can do this from our vanadium pentoxide that we produce from Mount Peak. The vanadium electrolyte is a key, having to be made at a very, very high spec. We've done that for Sumitomo Electric, and we're engaging with them with the potential to have an offtake agreement for their global supply. The prices for our products have seen a significant increase, particularly over the last 12 months, which is all very good and would place our already robust economics of the project in an even more healthier position. Last week we announced that we'd received the federal approval for the environmental assessments at our mine site. A very important approval. We can now move ahead to have our mining license granted, which we expect to happen in the next couple of months. At the same time, the final design is happening for the Taiwan process itself by the SMS Group in Germany. We expect that to be completed over the next few months. We'll then consider the appointment of them as our EPC, which we fully expect to do. KfW, who are actually here at this conference, that we've been engaging with respect to sourcing some of the German export credit finance. This is our business model for the project finance for the project. Once we have that in place, we can expect to see our construction commencing most likely towards the middle or second half of next year. We have a project development team that we've developed. We have a very strong process engineering and commercial and business development team. And this project, we see it could be in production by 2020, 2021. It is the next vanadium project that we are aware of that is closest to being in production. And we expect to see the markets firming up as we near to 2020. Thank you very much for your attention and allowed a snapshot. We're at booth 22 if you'd like any more information. Thanks very much.